Hello, it's a Frankly Harry podcast. This is your host, Frank Weber, welcoming you back once again to the forest. So glad that you could join me again this week. This time I decided to talk about a little bit of a lighter topic, or at least I consider it something of a lighter topic than what we've talked about recently, and that is the Olympics. By the time this airs, the Paris Olympics, I don't know what number it is now. I don't keep up with it that closely. Will be airing. And I just wanted to share a few thoughts about those. I've had kind of an up and down relationship over the years with the Olympics, both the Winter and the Summer Olympics. So let me give you a little bit of a background on my philosophy with this. And it should be some food for thought, but also hopefully a little bit of entertainment here as well. So I think they have come a long way since the ancient Greek games. But I'm not going to make too many comparisons to that. I probably will at the very end. But I tend to look at them as primarily for sports or competition through sports, not through commercialization so much. And they used to be about amateurism. Now everybody is pretty much a pro. I think that takes away a lot from it. And they used to be, to some extent, especially ancient Greek, about the human form. They're kind of about that now. Not so much. Everybody wears uniforms. What bothers me a lot of times, though, is that there's so much politics that get into the games. I'm afraid that some of our athletes on the USA, and of course probably some other countries as well, will try to make political statements. And these are just games. They're competition, and they're supposed to be fun, and it's sad that they do that. Occasionally you have terrorist acts and other things that have happened at games, like the 72 Munich games, I think was a big example. In fact, Jim McKay came on, who's not actually a newscaster, but of course a sports guy, and talked about that when it happened way back in the day. I, of course, am for having a lot of fun with jokes like trying to blow out the torch or the flame, and seeing what they can do to relight it if that were to happen, if they could just borrow a cigarette or a cigarette lighter. That actually came from a King of the Hill episode, I think it was one time. But I have a lot of memories over my life. I think that the coverage way back when on ABC was the absolute best. Excuse me again, I'm always getting over something here. I thought ABC's coverage was the absolute best when you have guys like the late Jim McKay, who were headlining the coverage. And he was, of course, the Mr. Wide World of Sports guy and some other Wide World of Sports guy. It was absolutely the best. You had Al Michaels, of course, did the 1980 Miracle on Ice. That was terrific. A great call by him. ABC hasn't had the summer games, though, since 84, or the winter games since 88. Very sad. CBS took over the winter games for a while, and then NBC took those over, and then NBC has had the summer games ever since about 1992. 92, no, actually they had them in 88, but 92 they had the triple cast. And for some reason my mom decided to order that for me on cable, and we got to see, this was before we had like a million channels on satellite, right? So we got to see like the basketball channel, and I think that was the first season that we had that big professional NBA dream team with Larry Bird and Michael Jordan and all those guys, and they kick the shit out of everybody. And I expect that something like that will probably happen again this year. I mean, I don't know what we're expecting. I know we love to win here in the United States, and I think other places do too. But I mean, if the games aren't even close, that goes back to whether you like amateurism or just all professionals for everything. But anyway, I digressed again. We had that triple cast, and then for some reason, I guess it didn't sell very well, so NBC quit doing it. I was reminded of a story one time. I think I was in dental school, and I don't remember exactly which Olympiad they started this, but one other guy who I really liked on the radio, and I started noticing this too, is that NBC was obsessed with showing these feel-good stories of the athletes and taking time out from actually watching them compete in whatever sport or game they play in, and just doing some kind of, they weren't really fluff stories. I mean, maybe they were feel-good stories. I kind of think that they were probably trying to attract more women, perhaps, but really, men and women have been watching the games forever, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't really care much about feeling good. I just want to see sports. Okay, that's all it is. I'm cut and dry, no bullshit for me. And I just remember, some of y'all may know, I haven't really talked about this much yet. I'm writing a second novel that's going to be based on my time in dental school, and get ready for that here in the next few years. But I had a classmate who sat next to me, and we were talking about the Olympics one time. I think it was the 2000 Sydney Games, and I was complaining like, there's too many fucking feel-good stories on here. Who wants to fucking feel good? We just want to watch sports and hopefully see, somebody beat the hell out of somebody else on the field or court or whatever. And this other guy asked me, "You don't like feeling good, Frank?" And anyway, I don't know where the rest of the conversation went from there, but that's just one of my memories. And let's see, what else do I have here? I'm trying to remember all these memories here. I just jotted a few things out. I'm kind of concerned about, they brought back golf a few years ago in 2016, both men's and women's, and I didn't really understand the exact competitive allure of it, and it had nothing to do with I think I've talked about it here or somewhere about golf not being a great TV sport, or certain tours not doing things to kind of spicing up the product or anything like that. It had nothing to do with that, but the men's and women's tournaments were simple 4-day stroke play rounds, similar to what they would play at home on their tours, whether it's PGA or LPGA or whatever. And there are technically teams, like an American team or a Canadian team or whatever there is out there, but there was nothing different about it from what they typically do, and the teammates are still playing individually as stroke play. So if somebody from the USA happened to have the fewest strokes at the end of the tournament, they would win, and then technically Team USA would win. So it really wasn't as team involved as it otherwise sounds like, if that makes sense to you. I never understood that. I watched it a little bit. I remember in 2016 when it was in Brazil, but I didn't watch anything in Tokyo because I think those were the fucked up COVID games that they had to move to 2021 or whatever, and I didn't watch any Olympics. Probably won't watch any this year. I think the product has generally gone pretty downhill, I think, on a lot of the sports. Like I said, they're not really that competitive. And then let's see if I covered everything here. I don't have a lot of other subjects to talk about today. I thought this would be a pretty short episode. My only other criticism is that unlike the ancient Greek games, they don't do the games naked anymore. It used to be a real celebration, though, too, of the human form, and I would recommend that they get back to that somehow or another. But there are a lot of great memories there. I just don't think it's the same as what it used to be. Actually, we were talking about Jim McKay in the Wide World of Sports. I forgot this point, and I'll go back here real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. But I can't remember if the ski jumper for the Agony of Defeat, if that was in an Olympics or maybe an Olympic trials. If you haven't seen that footage, because it was on the Wide World of Sports intro for many, many years, where they changed the Thrill of Victory one, but the Agony of Defeat guy was on there forever and ever, it seemed like. But he was a ski jumper from, I think, like Eastern Europe or something, and as he came down the decline of the jump right there at the bottom before it goes back up again, he fell down, slipped off to his right, and almost hit a cameraman. And I'm sure he was injured afterwards, and they even did a documentary on him. But if you don't remember Wide World of Sports on Saturday afternoons back in the day, or don't know what the hell I'm talking about, it's on YouTube plenty of times on the Wide World of Sports intros. But anyway, I don't want to, piss in your Cheerios or piss on your fire or, shit on the Olympics if that's what you like. I may accidentally wind up watching a little bit of it here and there, who knows, but enjoy them. I pray for everybody's safety and pray for good competition, pray for, in particular, the United States, but as well as other countries also, and hopefully it's a good time. Everybody has a good time and there's no trouble and everything in this crazy world that we have now. So anyway, that's about all there is. That's all I have for today. Pretty simple show. Really invite you to, if you find this to be quality entertainment and kind of funny or enlightening, please tell your friends and family. Hit the subscribe button. Would certainly welcome your comments and suggestions. I'm easy to get a hold of. And really would look forward to hearing from you. But really enjoying this show. I'm going to keep doing it as long as I can. Going to try to spicing things up, do a few new things here in the coming weeks, I hope. Sometimes change is hard, but I love you for stopping by here in the forest, as I call it. Explained what that was last week. And till next week, this is Frank Weber signing off. Take care until next time.